Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn. Now this weekend I made a video making this sign. And it is a cute sign, but the whole purpose of my video was to show you how you can use Cricut Infusible Ink on wood or cotton or other things you typically wouldn't use it on. And you do that by using Glitter HTV under it and then putting your infusible ink on top of it. And when I went to edit my video Saturday night, I realized that just looks like glitter HTV or glitter vinyl. So I almost scrapped the video, but I ran home after work today and I made this cute little onesie for a friend of mine. She's a math teacher and she's going to have a baby, so she loves this type of humor. This is a better representation of what I was going for. So all of the instruction in the video is for this sign, but the exact same process that I used up here was used on this baby onesie. So if you want to watch me make this sign, but know that the same principles apply to something on fabric, then keep watching the video. I want to start by showing you the materials I'm going to use for this project. I have this 8" by 15" piece of plywood that I painted white with this white chalk paint. I got this at Walmart. Now before I painted it, the plywood looked like this. This is just plywood that you can get at Home Depot. It's 1/8" thick. You can either have them cut it down or you can cut it down yourself at home. Now my piece was a 4" by 8" piece, but they also have project boards in Home Depot. You can get those in 2" by 4", and you can also have Home Depot cut those down. Now I've seen where you can sublimate on top of glitter iron-on. So I assume that I can use this infusible ink on it since basically it is a sublimation material. Now let me show you the colors before you add heat to them. Here they are, and they really don't look at all like the colors on the box. So what I did was I took the one that I thought was the correct one. Yes, it's this one right here. I cut out this little bitty corner, and then I heated it onto this old pillowcase that I messed up just to make sure it was the color I wanted. And it is. It's this color right here. So I'll use this for one of my words. I'll cut the word out of, I think it was this one. I'll cut the word out of this. I'll also cut it out of the glitter. I'll iron the glitter on first. Then I'll put this back over it and heat it on. Hopefully that works. Then for the rest of the sign, I'm just going to use this Caesar HTV, and it's black. It's a stretch HTV. You don't need stretch, but that's all I had, so this is what I'm using. Now let's hop on over to the computer so I can show you my design. I'm going to make my design in Cricut Design Space, so the first thing I'll do is click on Shapes and select the square. Now I want to make this the template for my board, so I'm going to unlock right here or right here the proportions, so that I can change the width separately from the height. So the width is going to be 15 inches, and then the height is going to be 8 inches. Then, just to make that a little easier to work with, for now I'm just going to make it light gray. Okay, I want to add the word coffee to this, so I'll click on text, and in all lowercase, I'll type the word coffee. Then the font that I want to use is called Bastion, and this is one that I just got for free off of fontbundles.com. I have no affiliation with design bundles or font bundles, but you get freebies each week. So if you don't have a membership, which is free, I would definitely recommend signing up for one. Now they also have paid memberships, but I just have the free one. So I'm going to select on the Bastion font. Not any font that's a script font would work for this. It doesn't necessarily need to be Bastion. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just kind of drag this quite a bit larger. Then I'll go ahead and decrease the letter spacing so that my letters start coming together. Now I can ungroup, and then I'll just click on this F. With the F selected, I can use the left arrow on my keyboard and it'll move it over slightly to the left. Then let's go ahead and choose this F. I think I'll click on it. It took 3 left clicks to get it to the right place. That one took 5. And then this one I'm not too concerned about because I'm going to use a glyph. Okay, so this font comes with glyphs, which are fancy letters or swishes, things like that. What I need to do, I'm on a Mac, I need to pull up my font book. So I'm going to go up here to Finder and Applications. Let's go up here to Font Book. Right here. I think it's called Character Map on a PC. Okay, so I'm already on Bastion. What I'm looking for is the C with the tail going to the left. Okay, it's right here, so I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to hit Command C for copy. I'll just move this out of the way. Then back on my Cricut project, I'm going to delete the C that's there. Then I'll go to text. I have my text box here, so I'll hit Command V for paste, and there it is. Now notice it's too small, so I can just drag it to the right size. And looks like one more time. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I might move it up just a little bit, up and over. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this E. Once again, I'll go back to my font book. Now I want to select the E that has the tail that goes to the right. It's right here, so Command C for copy. Once again, hit text, and then Command V, that'll paste it in, and I can put it right here. Now, I realize now, if I wouldn't have resized my letters, it probably would have come in at the right size. All right, so let me move that over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select all my letters. Since there's a background behind it, I think the easiest thing is hold down my command and then add all the letters over here to the right to it. And then I'll click Weld. Okay, by clicking Weld, you won't have cut lines between each letter. If you didn't click Weld, your machine would cut here and here. It would just cut between each letter, and you don't want that. All right, let me go ahead and fit this on my background. Still a little bit large. And let's see. My infusible ink is only 12 inches by 12 inches, so let's go ahead and put this at 11.5 inches wide. Okay, I think I'll undo the proportions and make this just a little bit taller. I'll go ahead and make it 4 inches tall. Now I'm going to cut this separately from the rest of my letters, and so I'll go ahead and change the font color. It really doesn't matter what color I change it. I'll just change it, and let's go with this green right here. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and put a line under this. So I'm going to click on square, and I will unlock the proportions. I'm going to make it just long and skinny. Okay, I can make it about 14 inches wide. And then just a little thinner. Okay, that looks good. I'm just going to put it about right here. Then I want some words down here. So I'm going to click on text. And I want these to be all caps. Then I also want to use a different font. So let's go ahead and get rid of Bastion. I'll say I want to look at all my system fonts. Okay, let's see. I think it says small caps. It doesn't look like small caps, but I think this is the right one. So what I'm going to type is what I define coffee as. Okay, so a magical liquid substance that turns I don't want to get out of bed into I'm ready to face the day. Now that's way too large. Let's go ahead and change this. Oh, let's just start with 36. So just drag it down here into place. Now I wonder if I can bold that. No. Let's see. Let's decrease my line spacing and my letter spacing. Move the letters a little bit closer together. And then I'll go ahead and move the two lines a little bit closer together. Okay, I think I'll change this to 11.5 inches wide. So there we go. Now here's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and put my cursor over everything, go up to a line, and center horizontally. Okay, that looks better. Now the last thing I want to put how to pronounce coffee right here. For this, I'm going to use Cricut Sans, and it's going to be all lowercase. So I'll go up, and it should be pretty easy to find. Okay, I probably need to click on Cricut, but I do think it's a free font. Let me see. Because I don't have an Access member, so if it lets me use it, I'll be fine. Okay, obviously that is way too large, and I'm on bold. Let's just go ahead and get regular. And then for now, let's try 20 for my size. I think I'd like to italicize that also. Okay, so that all looks pretty good. I'm just going to fiddle with a couple things here. Move my line up just a little bit. Then I'll move my words up. And I think I'd like to move coffee to the right a little ways. Kind of center it on this line here. Okay, I like all that. So for now, I'm going to select everything except for coffee. It's not supposed to be centered. So I'll select everything else. Once again, I'm going to say align, center horizontally. Nothing moved because it was still where it was supposed to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and group everything. Except for the box around it. Now I can add the box to it. I'll say align and center vertically. Okay. So I'm ready to go ahead and cut this out. Now since this is HTV, I need to mirror coffee, the pronunciation of coffee, and my saying down here. I could do it now, or I could do it later when I'm ready to cut. I think I'm just going to flip the entire thing now. Now before I make this, I want to go ahead and hide my rectangle since I'm not really cutting it. I'll click Make It. Okay, time to get all this weeded. Now I like to remove my mat by flipping it over and holding down what you're pulling off of it and just tilting your mat back. Since this is a new mat, it's a little rougher to do, but this way your material doesn't buckle and bend. I just think it's a better way to remove material. Now I had to take this one down in the corners because this mat is pretty old, not very sticky. And then this large design, I'm going to go ahead and cut it loose with my roller or my rolling cutter. I guess that's a rotary cutter. Okay, I'm probably not supposed to be using these scissors on this kind of material. So if you're screaming at me out there, I'm sorry. Okay, so the most interesting one to weed is the infusible ink. And I just grab a piece that needs to come off. I rip it to the corner or to the edge, and then I just start pulling around, and it's pretty easy to weed. And then for infusible ink, all I ever use to weed it are my fingers. You can hold down what you want to keep, kind of pull back, and then what you want to get rid of pops up. Super easy and really fun. Then I'll keep these scraps because you can punch things out of those and use those on other projects. Okay, so the glitter HTV, that should be pretty easy to weed as well. Okay, this is going to be a lot of weeding, so I'll really fast forward, maybe even skip over quite a bit of this. And I pulled off a letter, darn it. Now I had to change my font to copperplate. It was so tiny, so narrow. So I changed my font to a little bit more substantial font, made it a little bit bigger, and I think this looks great. The first thing I'm going to do is just put my glitter HTV on. I've arranged it the way I want it in the end. For now, I'll go ahead and take this off. Put a Teflon sheet over my piece of wood. Then I'm going to heat this for 15 seconds at 300 degrees. Now let me go ahead and see if that'll stay stuck down. All right, looks like it is. Now it does want to come up, so I'll give it just a little bit longer and then I'll let it cool down more than I did that time. With the Cricut glitter, it did say 40 seconds, but I'm going to be heating this wood for so long with the infusible ink that I really don't want to leave it on that long. So I'll let this cool off just a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can't baby this off of here. Now it's wanting to come up, but again, I don't want to add 40 more seconds of heat. Okay, we want to try to line up our infusible ink really well. Now the beauty of having the white wood behind the white glitter HTV is if it's not perfect, it's not going to stick out as much. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. So I'm going to have my heat set at 385. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a Teflon sheet down below the word coffee just to try to help protect my wood. It is exposed here and here, but I'm going to heat it at 385 for 40 seconds. And then my heat press is 12 inches wide, which is wider than the design, so I should be fine. Okay, it's all wrinkly. I assume it worked. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. You can see most of the ink came off. It looks like there's a little bit left there, and it might be just a little bit faint. So here's what I'm going to do. I went ahead and cut out the F. I'm going to set it back down, get my little Easy Press Mini, and I'll see if I can't darken that up just a little bit. Okay, I think I got some more of that off. And I held it on there for just about 20 seconds. Okay, well that's good. Now, my line isn't sticking yet. I had my little mini on this for about 10 seconds. My line, I just kind of went back and forth. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use my big Easy Press. It's cooled down some. It calls for 300 degrees. Well, this is more than 300 degrees, but I am impatient. Okay, now let's just move it to this side. Now you notice how I have it turned so that it's not on the infusible ink. Okay, I don't think it's stuck down right there. So let me go ahead and get that just a little bit longer. The black is a Black Glitter HTV, and it only calls for about 10 to 15 seconds. It takes less time than the Cricut, and then also it is a hot peel. Now I saw a letter right in here kind of start to pull up, so I'm going to go ahead and give all of this just a little bit more heat. So there's the final product. Now this project tried to give me a little bit of trouble. So when things like that happen, just look for other solutions, and usually you can work something out. Thanks so much for joining me. Until my next video. Bye-bye.